Hello, people. We are back. Act 2, the podcast, episode 258, and we are back. It is your boy, International Walt, and I am sitting here. Couldn't do the show without the beautiful.
Oh, I thought you was going to say more. Your girl Tosh, the co-host, is with the most. I don't know.
That's just like a typical woman. You call them beautiful, and they're looking for more.
No, thought you was going to say.
I thought you was going to say more. Like, I know I'm beautiful.
No, I thought you would say the beautiful co-hostess, the beautiful woman beside me. I didn't know you were stopped. I thought I had 3 more seconds to drink a sip of coffee. I apologize.
That's how it came off, though. Like, say more, nigga.
No. I thought you was going to say without the beautiful woman beside me, something to that effect. Not like I was looking for more accolades or more compliments. No.
Dress it up. I get it. But that's how it came off. Like, nigga, say more. I know you probably don't feel like that, but that's
absolutely.
How it looks. People will judge you for that.
I don't care.
We back for another episode of us. We here. We glad y'all here. Let's get right to the show. How do you feel? How are you today?
I'm okay. I'm good. I'm probably like a 8.5. Just nothing is wrong. This having 2 weeks off of work and having to go to work, I feel like I'm revving up still. Like I'm not at full capacity. I feel good. Nothing is wrong. Small thing on my mind. But I'm okay. God is faithful, and I believe and trust in Him. But actually, I'm gonna say I'm a 9 because
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. There you getting it back, little mustard seed at a time. Yeah. Mustard seed at a time.
Finances are an 8. Thank God for His blessings. Yeah, thank God for His blessings. I was talking to somebody today just about like sacrifices they've been having to make for their family, and like they kind of got teary-eyed, but they were saying, thank God that they have it to be able to have to do the things that they had to do. It was like, it hurt them some, but they had it and they're okay now. It was just like, unexpected, not really unexpected, but nevertheless, just really truly thank God for His blessings. Work is a 9. I'm grateful for a job. I would have loved to hit the lottery. I would have loved if my husband hit the lottery and retired me. He didn't yet. So
take your ass to work.
I still gotta go to work. But I'm grateful.
Take your ass to work.
And work is, I can say it's it's the beginning of the year. The end and beginning of the year is kind of slow for us. So that I am enjoying as well. Slow physically. Like, I don't have to be outside and like.
And you go get the turkey bacon.
But it's on the computer it ain't slow. Sheesh, it ain't. But physically I feel good. I'm gonna say I feel like a 10 physically. Like nothing feels wrong. Nothing is hurting. Thank God. Nothing is not functioning properly as far as I know, so except my eyes, but but it ain't gonna complain. So yeah, that's that. Physically, I'm gonna say I'm a 10. I'm gonna claim that.
Oh wow, a dime on the physical.
Yeah, how are you?
Mentally, I feel great. I was a 10, but I'm gonna say I'm a 9 because like I said, we worried about our sister. If you don't want to get into that, you don't have to. But we just
nothing's wrong with her, but
yeah, just worried about her. T's and P's, thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
So yeah, that made me drop down to a 9 just because I know things are on your mind. So that makes we share that. What is I always forget what is next? Finances. Oh, always is. 8.5, I would say. They're 8.5, yeah. Finances are 8.5. Work is a big fat 9. Work's a 9. Work ain't too bad. Work ain't too good. Physically, I feel great.
But why you say it's not too good?
Just monotony.
Oh, okay.
I'm in like the same 3 spaces doing the same,
Gotcha.
Down to punch list stuff and that.
Before the next job starts.
Yeah. Okay. You know how I feel about that kind of stuff.
Okay.
People picking your baby apart, talking about do this, do that. I don't like it. at all.
When you say picking your baby apart, that sounds very like
it's
eerie.
The equivalent of that.
I
like
know,
if you work
but
on something for 4 months and you like get it all prepared, and people are like, "Hey, this looks great," and I'm happy, and thank you so much. And then you do this little walkthrough, and it's like, yeah, that, yeah, that, yeah, that, yeah, and then you got this whole paper like telling you how ugly your baby is, and you gotta dress it up to get your baby looking right again. It's the same thing. That's how it feels. Yeah. Like you would present an infant and they would be like, it need to cook a little more. So that's how I feel. Physically, I feel like a 10. Yeah, I feel like a 10. I was in the gym. Me and you had a good workout early in the week. In the gym yesterday and today. I feel good. I feel great.
I seen a baby today that was probably, I'm gonna say probably like.
You was about to say in the gym. I was about to say, when did this happen?
No, probably like 2 years old. And I'm gonna say this baby might have been 50, 60 pounds.
Oh, that's bad.
Like, no, she was walking. And that's why I say she probably was like 2. I doubt she was 3 because she couldn't really, she was saying Papa. So maybe virgin on 3. If she was 3, she was little.
A little fat baby, huh?
Like to the point where it was, and the dad was like a bigger dude, but not really fat. The mom, she was short, she looked like she had a baby recently, which, she got this little baby. But again, she wasn't really fat, but it was like, what are y'all feeding this baby?
Do you believe in that sort of shit, like baby fat or it'll fall off?
To some extent, but there's also a fine line of like you can create diabetes in a baby that young.
Juvenile diabetes.
Yeah. Well, juvenile diabetes is usually diabetes type 1, which is they're born with. But you can give a baby diabetes type 2 from their diet.
Okay.
The stuff you're feeding them, overfeeding them, you're setting them up so yes, I do believe you have some chunky babies who they're not overfed and stuff, and they do grow. Like we think about our niece Kenzie. Kenzie was a chunky baby. She is a string bean today.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, she was a chunky baby. But I mean, so
what age you think the cutoff is where you should start paying attention to your kids' weight? 10, teenager, or earlier?
No, I think their eating habits, I think you should start paying attention to around like 3, 4. Because
what with the snacks and shit?
Yeah,
and the sugar.
The nothing. Well, there's a lot of things, but it pisses my soul off to see a kid drinking soda.
It pisses me off to see anybody drinking soda nowadays.
Yeah, but an adult, it's like, okay, that's your business. But a kid, like, or especially, I mean, and again, any soda is bad, but like a Pepsi? Like, why are you giving a kid a Pepsi?
All
see,
I feel different about the Pepsi. Like, I feel worse if I see a kid drinking an orange or a grape or a fucking pineapple soda. It's like, oh my God.
Those we know are like, we know those are bad, but those are few. Like, you don't see those as often as you see. You don't see an adult drinking a orange or pineapple or grape as often as you would see them drink a Pepsi.
I rarely see kids drinking Pepsi.
It ain't often, but when you do see it, like, and it's usually like the adult will give them theirs to drink, and it's like, what are you doing?
It's like giving a kid coffee. Like, it's just too strong for you.
I love, like, when you hear like those parents who are like, their kids are 6, 7 years old, and they're like, my kid has never had candy. I love that. Now you got to think, soon as they get to school, somebody's going to offer it to them, but, and they're probably going to try it. But for them not to have it, like, I think I think instilling in your kids proper eating habits, seeing you work out is like important. So the eating, I think, starts around 3, 4-ish.
I don't disagree with the whole candy thing though.
Okay.
Like, it's part of childhood in a sense. I think it's something you gotta monitor big time and be up on it. But just to say my kid never had candy, I think is a deprivation. Is that the word?
I mean, that's a word.
Deprivation of your childhood a little bit. Like, you're depriving the kid out of a little candy as he's growing up, a little girl, a little boy. Like, what happened to a little girl outside jumping some rope and chewing a piece of gum? or sucking on a piece of candy. Like, you can't have candy. Like, that's crazy. Now, you can't have a lot of candy. You can have only the candy I give you, but you can't like be like, well, you can be the parent. But I'm just saying, I disagree
I would
with
absolutely be that parent, but I think it's a great thing, and they'll survive.
Okay. Yeah,
like it ain't like they're going to die without it.
But I'm just saying, I think my opinion is that's a little bit of, you're depriving the kid out of a little bit of childhood.
I think it shows great discipline, because you know at some point they're gonna indulge in it. So to not create that craving and that yearning for it early on, maybe as they get older, they don't even have to know about Halloween.
But I'm talking about, that's us. Most kids out there do the trick-or-treating thing. So if you're a kid who can't have candy, you can't have Halloween, you can't do that either.
I would think those parents who don't let their kids eat candy, I'm sure they probably find some way around it. Like, here's a fruit cup.
Yeah, I get it.
Here's a fruit cup.
I agree it's a good thing. I just think that it also deprives a little bit of the childhood. That's all. Like, you can give the kid, say, a piece of candy here and there, but just to be like, you never going to experience things that all the other little kids are experiencing. You can't have a bag of fucking Pop Rocks once when you 5 growing up. Like, come on, man.
I mean, it ain't the worst thing in the world for them to have it, but it ain't the worst thing in the world for them not to know about it.
I agree.
So I think it just shows great discipline. I mean, again, I admire those parents. I admire the parents who like make their kid. That I wanted to be that mom who like made baby food and stuff like that. Like, because I think, especially as much as we know about food nowadays.
Yeah, I was ready to say that was a thing when we were small, and it was like, those moms were separate from moms we grew up with.
But nowadays you like, they was on to something.
Baby food, like mashing up pears and apples and pureeing it.
But now,
warming it up, cooking, like doing all that shit. And bottling it again, putting it in jars.
Exactly.
Like,
You got sweet potatoes, you got the blueberries, you got the pineapples, you got the squash.
Pears,
but
whatever.
Nowadays, they was on to something. I mean, and again, that's not to say that, God forbid, your kids can't still get sick with something. But to be able to take those preventive measures, I mean, this little girl was like...
Was they black or white?
Hispanic.
Hispanic.
And it was like, wow. Like, she is a big girl, and she didn't look sick. It just looked like she's a big girl, and she was, and I say she was like 2, maybe 3, because she said small words, but she wasn't like very talkative. She was like smiling at me and like dancing a little bit, and then when I would dance to her, she would like shy away. But she was very little and like very robust. Is there any judgment in you when you see a kid like that? No judgment. I just hope that the parents get a hold of it sooner than later. And I want, you know what I thought to myself? I wonder what the doctor's telling them. That's what I thought to myself. Like, is the doctor like giving them some advice, like, hey, let's wean her off of this or whatever this is. Would it matter if she was a little black girl? No, I think if she was any little kid, no, it was no judgment, I guess. And then, what, the parents, I think that was their only child, because other, families were there with multiple children. It was just them. And they didn't look that old. And to me, it just made me think, like, this is probably their first child. She probably spoiled. They probably give her whatever she want. And like, I just hope they get it. I don't think it's too late, but I was just thinking, I hope they get a hold of it sooner or later. And I wonder what the doctor's telling them. That's what went through my head. I know there's a lot of kids out there that are big, white, black, Hispanic, whatever. But I know in our community that when you, like having a big baby was at a time, like it was celebrated. Like the baby thick, the baby healthy. The baby is growing. But at a certain point, it's like, if you see a 60-pound-year-old, how old did you say the baby was? I'm going to say 3 at the most. Yeah, I think that's like a time where you got to, like, you were worried. Especially in our community where they'll be like, what you feeding that baby? All kinds of stuff like that, where it's like, hey, this going to be a problem for her. Yeah. Because you're making it hard when she's only fucking 3 or 4. Yeah, and whatever her eating habits are now, it's going to be hard to wean her off of whatever it is. Like, it's hard to put a kid on a diet it's possible, but you're really going to have to drastically cut her calorie intake because one, she's too small. She's not move. It's not like, she's in 6, 7, 8, like she's 6 or 7 years old where she can run around outside. I think that's where kids start to burn off some of that baby fat really as they hit the prepubescent age. When you're running outside playing that kind of thing, but at that age it ain't but so much running you gonna do because she was tiny. Like she could walk by herself, but she was reaching for her dad to pick her up. So it was just one of them things where it was like, wow, like this is a big baby.
Big babies turn into big kids, and big kids turn into big adults.
Yeah, so hopefully they get older.
That's kind of if you're too big, that could be a tough life for you.
Yeah. We kind of went off on a tangent, but what's your wows and woes for this week?
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Wows and woes are, actually my wow was just getting back to work. It was good to get back to work. It's not like it's, I love my job and all that kind of stuff, but I had a little bit of time off and was comfortable in that space being off. And then all of a sudden you got to go back to work. So getting up at 3:30 in the morning is not fun. It's not for the weak. And I'm different during the week because it's like I feel like a cowboy. Like I gotta be a little bit rougher because of the shit that I gotta go through. Like driving in the dark and it's early, I'm sleepy, I'm tired, I want to be in the bed with her. I gotta go to work and do something. So my mind is thinking it's a lot. I got people waiting on me when I get there. They want to talk and it's so early. It's like this ain't always fun. So just getting back to work was a wow and a woe in itself.
Yeah.
How about you?
Same exact for me. You said you had a little bit of time off. I had a lot of bit of time off.
Well, 11 days. How many days you had off?
15.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so
15, 16.
It wasn't like I had 3 days off.
Yeah, I had 16 days off. And they were good days. Like we didn't do a whole lot. As much as I had in my head of like thinking of things that we could have done, we didn't do a whole lot, which, man plans, God laughs. We needed that rest and the time together and the chill. We binged a whole lot of TV. So the woe was that was over. And it was like, oh, we got to like go back to real world now.
And start moving again on a clock.
Like, yeah, like not like we got to like do stuff that people tell us to do. We gotta be
breakfast
separated.
At 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, getting out the house at 4 or 5 if we want to go out the house. So sometimes it was like I gotta go to the store just because I've been in the house all day.
Yeah, road runner can't stay in but so long.
Well, I like to get a little breath of air and, let God know I appreciate the day. I just ain't fucking staying and didn't see the day. So I saw it. I looked up in the sky, breathed some air. I'm good.
Okay.
That's how I think about it. You ain't got to shit all over.
I'm laughing. That was
but the face you made was like,
Well, I think you can enjoy the day from inside too. But I feel you, and some of those times where you just was running to the store, I threw on something and ran with you just to get a breath of fresh air. But my wow is just the fact, no matter how hard it was to transition back to real life, just grateful for having a job to transition back to. I don't take that for granted at all. I know in this season, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world happening in America. Let's not even look at the world in our country happening. So I'm grateful for that. So that's just my wow. I'm grateful. I'll be so extremely happy when my husband hits the lottery, but until then, I'm grateful to have a job to go to.
The fact that you talk about it and I think about it a lot, we're gonna will it. It's going to be something. And even if I don't hit the lottery for 50 million, I feel like I might hit it for 1.3 or 1.7 or something weird like 10,000 a week for life, and I'm gonna take the payout, and it's gonna be like 1.4, and that'll be enough to be like, baby, you can stop working. Like we're gonna be all right. We're gonna make 20 grand a year off interest, and we'll be fine. That'll pay something. I'll still work, and we'll be all right.
You still gonna work?
Yeah, still gonna work. Probably not to the capacity that I do now. I ain't gonna be getting up at 3:30. I tell you that shit. I'm gonna have to do something now. I come to work at 9.
What's up with our president?
I don't know. There's president on president crime. While we talking about things that happen in the world, I found out it is illegal in international laws for a president to capture another president, another head of state. So what the fuck? What say you? What's going on here with this guy? He captured Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela, the president. Also threw threats at the president of Colombia and Mexico, saying that they're next. But he claims that this guy is a narco leader of a cartel that runs drugs into the United States. That's why his justification is he can bring him here to face charges in these courts. But that's illegal in international crimes. When I was looking this up today, president can't capture another president.
Well, he did it. And, I mean, just like so many other things that they say he's not supposed to do, he wasn't supposed to tear down the White House, the portion of it that he did, saying that he was remodeling, but he did it. So, I mean, well, no, the Rose Garden he paved over. I'm talking about the East Wing that he tore down, saying that he was remodeling it. And they say, oh, you're not allowed to do that. Well, it's a fine time to tell them now that that portion of the building is gone. Like, how do you tell somebody, hey, you're not allowed to tear this building down? The building is gone. So what's the repercussions?
The pictures in the hallway, like old president's pictures. He wrote some weird dumb shit underneath all of them.
Yeah.
Like something
that's
negative about it.
Under Obama, Biden, Reagan, he put it was something positive, but about him.
Right.
Saying Reagan was a huge fan of President Trump. Almost like he is leading this office as if he is the last to be in office. And that's what I think he thinks is going to happen. And guess what? In this day and age, who knows? People say it ain't allowed, but he's doing whatever he wants, whenever he wants. So nothing is surprising to me. I watched a video that explained this whole Venezuela situation, and it really comes down to money and oil.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it comes down to. Long story short, long ago, Venezuela had a deal with Exxon where they were selling, Exxon was benefiting. At one point, Venezuela had the largest supply of oil.
Okay.
They were selling to Exxon. The president went out of office. A new president won under democracy, but then he changed his leadership style to more authoritarianism, which is kind of like what we're seeing now. And they decided to cut Exxon off and not pay them all this money that they owed him, that they owed Exxon.
You're talking oil, you're talking like hundreds of millions of dollars?
Billions. Yeah. I think it was like 1.4 billion, if I'm not mistaken. They cut it off. So they owe Exxon this money. Then another person got into office and, decided that they were going something. Bush was backing them, and it was supposed to come back around where the oil was available again. I think and then Hugo Chavez got into office. Long story short, that's primarily what this is about. The woman that they are trying to put in office to replace
the
Maduro.
Vice president. She's a big Trumper.
She was the woman who Bush backed back in the day under this this organization for democracy, blah 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 blah. But it's all about having control of the oil and getting the money back to $1.4 billion is a lot to owe anybody. I don't care how rich you are. $1.4 billion is a lot to owe. So it's kind of like it's weird because you say this. They stole Exxon's money, but really they stole their money that they were paying them, but it was their oil anyway. You know what I mean? It's weird to look at it like that. Like they stole it, but this was the agreement and they were supposed to pay it.
It's a money grab. It's a spike. They grabbing the money, they grabbing the oil, and also a big commodity in Venezuela is gold. Like a lot of gold diggers go over there and try to dig up gold.
Oh, I'm sorry. And this was another caveat to it. And I don't know if you knew this. I learned this. I didn't know. When oil is traded, you know how we have all different currencies around the world? When oil is traded, I don't know why or when this started, but there's a requirement, or there was a requirement, that oil is traded in U.S. currency.
Landman. I learned that on Landman.
Okay. Yeah. So U.S. currency.
Yep.
With this situation with Venezuela, what started happening is that other countries were trading oil amongst themselves, cut out the U.S. dollar. So that's another thing they're trying to do. If the U.S. has control of the oil, then they can reinforce it to be traded using U.S. currency, which inflates the value of the U.S. dollar. If people stop using the U.S. currency as a trading currency when it comes to oil, then the value of the US dollar is going to fall. So that's another part of it too. Not just taking the oil and the money, but doing that so that the value of the dollar can be inflated.
Yeah. Nicholas Mandar, what's your thoughts on him?
I really don't have any. I mean, I initially, I'll say this. Initially, I thought like this is horrible. They're doing this to the man. They captured him. The narco terrorism thing. I don't know what proof they have. I think that they're using that as a beard for the real reason. But then I did hear people, Venezuelans, say that he's a bad man.
Mm-hmm. And a couple of Venezuelans was happy. A lot of the people were happy that he's gone.
Yeah, people said that he was a bad man, that bad things happened under his regime. Their economy failed under.
And that whole narco thing is, the people say it's legit. I don't personally.
I've heard that people say that they were forced to be like drug mules, and I'm not saying directly from him, but whatever the cartel situation is under his regime, like people have been forced into that. So I mean, again, I'm not gonna say as an American, it's none of our business, because as a human, we shouldn't want other people to be treated that way. But again, as an American, think about the wrongs that are happening here. No other country would come in and be like, we're going to stop this from happening, stop the people from being mistreated, stop the veterans from being mistreated, stop the homeless people from being mistreated. So it's one of them things where I think the U.S. is putting on this cape as if they're saving people, but it's really a facade.
The U.S. that's what they do. They do everything in the eye of democracy. They want to save everybody, and they stealing oil and stealing money under their noses. But they put in fake government to act like they're running the country and making it better. But they're really stealing from these people. I don't know how a president can capture another president if that's you're breaking the law under international law. I think this sets a precedent for. Let's say a different president from somewhere else says that a person from our country is a war criminal or whatever, and they go get him for an old president of ours, and they go and lock him up, Obama or Clinton or somebody like that. Like, you set a precedent for other heads of state to start to steal other heads of state. Like, this has never been done before, and the fact that he's doing it, I'm sure he's breaking a law. I'm sure he's doing something he ain't supposed to be doing. But and you're making. I live here. I'm an American. I'm afraid in a sense. Not like I walk around afraid, but it makes you think what other countries think about us, or like an attack on us or something like that, because of the dumb shit he's doing outside the country. You talking about you going to go get the president of Colombia, the president of Mexico? Like, these places got giant cartels in them. Like, that got long reach, billions and billions and billions of dollars. Like, anything can start happening. The cartel got fighter jets and military shit. Like, so you just never know who you playing with, what you're doing for your own interests, and then you fuck us. Our president can't steal another president. I'm 48 years old. I've never heard no shit like this before. Even from a third world country. I don't care about any of that. A president a head of state can't take another head of state.
I never looked into it to.
I did today because I wanted to know if a president could.
I know what you're saying. I'm saying I never looked into it to know that was the rule. I don't know that it has never. I didn't know that it had never happened before. I do think that it poses a threat, especially when you think about people vacationing and stuff like that. Just imagine people on vacation and a militia decides to invade a hotel and take American citizens just for the sake of
thinking they're gonna
retaliation or not even thinking they're gonna get something for retaliation for what he did.
Retaliation, leverage, any of that shit. I wouldn't want to be in St. Kitts or somewhere and get stolen or can't come back.
I'm talking about a place like you said, like Mexico, Venezuela, Colombia, those places. You know what I mean? Like, not the places that are kind of like when people got stuck in Puerto Rico and Aruba and St. Kitts, they got stuck just because of them closing off the airspace. But if you're in one of these countries that he's going after, who's to say that people not going to go after you?
Yeah, you might not get back out that country. And we know how the police is in Mexico.
Yeah.
Everybody on the take over there.
Yeah.
Even while all this shit is going on, in real time, a woman was stopped by ICE in Minneapolis, probably about 6 o'clock today, maybe earlier than that, like 4 or 5 o'clock today. And a white American woman did not want to get out of her car because eight ICE agents was outside her car. As she pulled off, obviously they're going to pull the thing that you tried to run us over, and shot and killed this lady, like right on the spot. And then Trump puts out a statement immediately saying, I saw the clip, I seen everything, it looks like self-defense. Have you seen this clip?
I wasn't on social media today.
Oh, well, obviously nobody tried to run anybody over. That's just what cops say when you move a car or whatever. Like, you tried to run them over. Clearly she wasn't trying to run them over. She just wasn't, you're not getting in my car, I'm not getting out. And she was an American white woman, so she must have felt, I'm not even Spanish descent of anything, so I'm leaving. And they shot and killed her.
I mean, I'm not surprised because the ascension of their aggression, like, it's been evident. Like, we see how these situations with them are escalating, and I think it was only bound to happen that somebody was going to be shot and or killed, and just so happened, now it's her, because I saw a video locally in I think it was Camden, New Jersey, that you couldn't see the lady, but you could tell she was a black lady, and she was hollering. She was like, "No, why are y'all taking him? Where's his family?" So from what I gathered from the video, it was a boy named Angel, and and ICE came and took him, an unmarked white Ford Explorer, 2 ICE agents, and she's like, no, where's his grandma? Why are y'all taking him? He's a kid. He don't. Where are y'all taking him? Y'all can't do this. This ain't right. And she's hollering, she's standing in front of the car. She's like, y'all better not run me over. And then they switch. It was a black agent in the passenger seat. I don't know what race the driver was. For whatever reason, they switched. I guess the driver was acting scary. So she's like, so what? Just cause you a black officer, what you think you gonna run me over? And she's standing in front of the car, so he backs up and makes a U-turn and go the other way. And but I mean, again, you see these situations that are escalating. It's bound to happen that somebody is going to get hurt, just like we see regular cops do stuff and somebody ends up getting shot. From what I'm understanding, these ICE agents aren't even truly trained officers of the law.
Exactly. That was going to be my next point. Like, these agents of motherfuckers off the street that be in bars, that got regular jobs.
They giving them some minimal training. Like, they're giving them. I heard they're paying them really well.
Right. But you do work in the community amongst the Spanish population. Let's say you're doing this other event, or you're giving away some stuff at the place that you do, and you leaving there, and this happens to you. Put yourself in that situation, and 8 ICE agents roll up on you, thinking that they got a woman of Spanish descent that they're gonna get you, and you're American woman. You're scared because there's fucking ICE agents around you. Like, what's your protocol?
I've thought about this situation, like being in a situation, and one, I'm calling you immediately so like you can be on the phone with me to know what's going on. And I'm just hoping that wherever they take me, that it's resolved within like the hour and not within like the month. Literally yesterday, I get a text from somebody asking me about their child's health insurance. They like, I'm trying to take him to the doctor. He's 14 months old. And they telling me like it canceled. She like, I don't know, what do I need to do? Like, so I look, I'm like, yeah, you didn't renew it back in November. She was like, oh, she said, I got detained by ICE in November. I just was released 6 days ago. So they didn't deport her because she's still here. She got a 1-year-old baby. They detained her for a month and a half. and I guess decided, okay, we weren't, whatever the situation is, they released her. So, but like this, so I'm hoping, like, God forbid something like that was to happen to me, like that wouldn't be the situation, that it takes a month and a half before they realize, oh, we need to let this lady go.
So that's just, you hope that it works out like
I mean,
that?
what's my other option?
I'm just asking. You're getting all defensive.
No, I'm not getting defensive. I'm saying my hope is that within the hour, y'all see my ID, y'all run my name, y'all see my mom, my dad, my husband, my sister. Ain't nobody Hispanic, ain't nobody from another country in my family. I was born and raised here, and y'all let me go. And not like y'all end up shipping me to Mexico before y'all realize, oh, we shipped the wrong lady.
Like we see on the news, that shit happens. Like they sent the man when the shit first started happening.
Exactly.
They sent the guy from Baltimore to fucking El Salvador.
But it's like, what can you do other than like begging, pleading?
The store owners that they went and got. Remember that was on the news for like a week? The store owners, the husband and they took the wife.
The story about the man from New York, Jamaican. He's 53 years old. He's been here 50 years. They shipped him to Africa along with some other men. None of them were African. They shipped him to the country formerly known as Swaziland. It's called Eswatini. The U.S. has an agreement with that country for them to receive prisoners for financial gain. And the only reason why he was let go is because human rights activists there was rallying outside of the U.S. embassy saying this is not right. 50 years in the U.S., they ship them to. You're not even shipping these people back home.
No, you're just shipping.
You're just shipping them out of the U.S.
Do you see the commercial that comes on where it says, "You see this landing strip? If you're an illegal alien, this is what you're going to be on."
No,
you don't see that commercial?
I didn't see that.
It's like a plane that's taking off with a line of people on it, and it says, "You see this landing strip? If you're an illegal alien, eventually you're going to be on it, going back to wherever you're from." It's
and guess what? If that was the case where like you are sending people back to where they came from because they're here illegally, you think they're not supposed to be, whatever the reasons. I'm not saying I agree with it, but at least again you're shipping them home. But you're shipping people to continents that people who've never been to Africa. You're putting them on 18-hour flights to a different continent, a different country that had these protesters not been there, and I don't know what happened to the rest of the men that were with him, but had the protesters not been there and his situation not been blown up to the media, and then they ended up sending him back to Jamaica, which he technically he was Jamaican, but again, he lived in the U.S. for 50 years.
That's not all bad though. Ship him back to the S.
I mean, everybody don't live at the S. I mean, it's one of them situations. I have definitely.
If you come get, I don't know what I would do. I'm sitting here. I've thought about it. I'm thinking about it. I don't know what I would do.
If you're on a job site, they show up. You work with men who are from all different parts of the world. You told me before, all different parts of the world, and they take all of y'all. What are you going to do? Like, they take everybody, and you're like, okay, once they see my ID, they'll realize it.
Say, all I got is the 7 pieces of ID that says who I am. So I'm going to pull that out and be like, hey, I see y'all doing a thing here, but this ain't for me. This ain't for me. Damn, there's 7 pieces of ID right there in front of you.
So your hope is that, okay, they'll realize that and you come home, or they'll say, well, you got to go through the process, and once they confirm it, that process could be 30 days.
It could be 6 months. Could be a plane ride.
That's terrifying.
It is.
It's
very terrifying.
This white lady, I mean, again.
And as a black person, don't ship me nowhere. I mean, if you ship me somewhere, at least ship me where black people are. But don't ship me nowhere. Don't ship me nowhere.
Because
I don't know nobody.
But the thing is this. They're shipping them to prisons in these other countries. They're not just dropping you off in a neighborhood. They're sending you to these other countries that they have agreements with to imprison you, which I feel like, what are y'all... These families don't have contact with them.
I don't necessarily think they're going to prison. I think they are. I don't know. I don't know, because you can't take a person who ain't done anything and put them in prison.
You think they care about that? The man who was from Baltimore in El Salvador, they took him to. The man who was the Jamaican man, they took them to Eswatini and they were in prison. It was a man from Peru. I forget, it was nobody, the other men were of Hispanic descent. He was the only black man. But again, you took these 6-7 men to an African country because you have a financial agreement to say, hey, you take these people into your prison, we'll pay you to house them or whatever. But so now you're probably getting some sort of slave labor or something out of them.
I'm sure they get a stipend for here taking these people back, shut the fuck up, and house them in your prison.
It's a scary situation.
800 people off, 6 planes that you just got to house in a jail. Yeah. And these people have been to work in America, had lives, kids, homes that they rented and bought, and now they in a jail somewhere.
The best case scenario is that they take you to one of these holding facilities in like Newark or like down in Florida. What did they call it? Like alligator... Something like that, because at least you haven't left the U.S. And then, so there was a video of a lady. She was, she might have been a lawyer or an advocate for a person or something. And she said, "This is where the loophole is. They get assigned an A number is like an alien number that immigrants when they come to the country have. You have to have their alien number." So she was trying to call the prison to talk to this guy. She didn't have his alien number. He couldn't make a phone call to his family because he didn't have money on, I guess, his books or whatever, because his family needs his alien number to put money on his books. Mm-hmm. And the lady, she's recording it. She's talking to somebody at the prison. She's like, what would you do if this was your family? He can't call his family because he doesn't have money. They can't send him money because he doesn't have the number. You can't give me the number, so he's just never going to be able to talk to anybody?
It'll work itself out.
Like, how does that work?
It'll work itself out. Again, don't ship me anywhere, but if you do ship me somewhere or my wife somewhere, ship us to where black people are. Don't drop us off where we don't speak the language or...
Don't let it be no rats there.
Yeah. Hispanic people, black people, whatever. Speaking of black people, in our culture, we've always known this was a thing. Why do you think light-skinned black people feel favored over dark-skinned black people?
Why do I think they feel favored is because they have been, unfortunately, in a lot of situations. It goes back to the field nigga versus house nigga, kind of policy on the plantation. The lighter skin, and a lot of times the lighter skinned black people were a result of African slaves being raped. Mm-hmm. So now the babies were mixed race, and they were allowed to work, do the housework instead of the field work. And that stigma, that mentality, that feeling of superiority has kind of stuck for generations and generations and generations. Now, I think it has lessened some, but I think I think it has lessened some, and at least in our culture, in our society, because you hear a lot of people revere some chocolate people. Mm-hmm. Like we in our culture. Now, I'm not saying other cultures, it hasn't. Other cultures may look at light skin versus dark skin, but within us, I think we let that go a lot.
I would agree that
not completely, but a lot.
Yeah, that we revere dark-skinned women more than we've ever had before.
And chocolate men.
In our culture. And chocolate men. But I also still think the stereotype of light-skinned people is still there. Like the arrogance of them. Or light-skinned people are pussy. Or light-skinned people are soft. Or light-skinned... Like that stigma is still there.
I think it's there, but I think it has lessened.
Agree. I agree that it's lessened. My point is that we still do that to light-skinned people as far as colorism.
Yeah. I think we do. I think more than that, though, it's this, when it comes to men and women, this yearning for, I guess, what was described in like the music culture of like that exotic look. Basically like a woman looking mixed, like not whether she's Latino or whether she is just having sort of like an exotic look where you look at her, you can't really tell. Like she looks like she's a mixed girl. I think that in a sense, and that can kind of be colorism as well, because normally those girls are fairer skin. They have, a finer texture of hair, longer hair, so they're not looking like an African purebred woman. So I think that more so plays a role in a lot of men's mentality. They want these quote unquote exotic looking women.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. And don't if you think men want exotic looking women, don't like black women lean into that. I think as a man looking at the range of women that's outside or whatever, everybody seems to want European straight hair, and it's not. I'm not saying there's no women that wear their natural hair, because they do and they're beautiful. But I know for a fact, being a man, there's less women who wear their natural hair um, than not. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying black women lean into the whole European thing, and I want straight hair, and I want this, and I want that, and weaves, and all that kind of shit.
But it has to do with being exotic. What I'm saying is,
so I'm
talking about exotic, not just your hair, but the look. Like having a look where you can't tell, is she Asian, is she Hispanic, is she Filipino?
I received your point. As a man, I'm telling you that's not necessarily all true. Men don't think like that.
I'm not saying all men, but I'm not saying
all men either. I'm just saying men in general probably don't think like. I've never thought that I wanted an exotic woman just because of the look, is what I'm saying.
Well, I think your generation is probably a little, I don't know.
That's all. That never was a thing to me or anybody that I've.
But not just you. Thinking on a bigger scale, when you think about the hip hop industry, when you think about the sports industry, when you think about, the entertainment industry, I think that was a thing at one point.
Where they wanted the fair skinned woman and not the darker skinned woman, because to them, that
and
was
not
exotic.
just a fair-skinned black woman. I'm talking about an exotic,
a mixture of women.
Yeah.
A Puerto Rican and a black, or whatever.
Or you look at, you can't really tell what her nationality is. Hence, them labeling her as looking exotic. Like, is she from, the Filipino, from the Philippines? Is she, that sort of
Have
look.
You ever seen the stereotype in a light-skinned black girl? And you growing up in middle school, high school, in college, whatever, in the workplace, like, have you ever seen like, oh, that's that thing that they talking about light-skinned black people and all that?
I guess not really, because I've known, like, you mean me see people being, giving preference, or people acting like
they're light-skinned, quote unquote light-skinned?
No, I haven't really. I know,
whether it be a little bit too arrogant, whether it be putting somebody who's dark down, like any little thing, not something that's like just an experience where you was like, okay, that stereotype comes from that thing that you're doing.
Not necessarily. And I guess for me, I've never, like, you always known that it was like a thing, but I can't say personally I've ever known anybody to act in a certain way because they were light skinned. I know more I don't even want to say conceited. I know more arrogant chocolate women that I can think off the top of my head, like, that I know personally, than light skinned women. So I know
more meaner. I knew more meaner dark skinned women than I knew light skinned.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily saying mean, but just arrogant, just and maybe it's that knowing, like, regardless of how society looks at it, they recognize like they have a special kind of beauty that has been overlooked. So maybe that's what breeds more of that arrogance in them. But no, I haven't known any body to
light skinned niggas.
Light skin.
When I was growing up, the light skinned niggas was the ones that had the product in their hair, the wavy hair. They carried a brush in their back pocket, always brushing their hair, like that type of dude. Where you didn't necessarily see the dark skinned guy that was doing that, but this light skinned dude cares about his waves, cares about his line, and always looking good for the ladies because he know the ladies like light skinned dudes. So you're acting and doing that thing that you're stereotyped by. I've seen that in men and light skinned dudes.
Yeah, I haven't really. I mean, I never really knew pretty boys or so. Like if that's how they were being labeled. Like, I can think of one boy I went to middle school with. who I guess would probably fit that stereotype. Light skin, light eyes, curly hair, but
always grinning, always in the chicks' faces. Because the it's like a thing that girls like light skinned dudes, so you kind of act the part, you lean into it, is what I'm saying. I knew dudes.
I guess it was a thing like he knew he was attractive, but then at the same time it was like, okay, it's one of you and it's 5 other guys that are just as attractive who look differently. So it wasn't like anything different. Like you acting just like the rest of the guys are acting who know that they're attractive.
And the girls, you never saw like a girl who always, just because she light skinned, always thought I can pull the guy.
No, not really. I have not been around women like that, girls or women like that. Yeah, but I mean, again, I know that it's been a thing. I think too, with social media, all the good and bad that comes with it. I think we've been exposed to so much more than just who we knew in our circles or who we were exposed to, whether school or neighborhood or work. Now, even though we may not know all these people, we're just exposed to so many more people, seeing so many more people, and realizing like that don't really mean nothing. Like your complexion it don't mean nothing. Like it really doesn't.
Either you're a shitty person or not.
You're beautiful or you're not. Like and beautiful or not meaning from the inside out. Like yeah, like you got like what they say, all different flavors of women and men who are beautiful. So the fact that you're light skinned doesn't make you any more beautiful or better than someone who's 5 shades darker.
To you, but in some pocket in society, they're made to think that. They're made to think that.
But see, I think that's people I don't think they're made to think that. Other people may think that about them, but I don't think they all think like that.
That's probably true. But that's what I'm trying to say. Other people
may think that. And again, I think too, it's probably people from the outside. I think a white person will look at a light-skinned person and a dark-skinned person and probably think the light-skinned person looks better. And of course, I'm not saying all.
Right.
But so again, I think it's people from the outside looking in. Within our culture, I think that's a fleeting thing nowadays.
What's one uncomfortable truth about our race and identity? Just one.
We have, as strong as we are, and as much as we can do, it's like we have a laziness about us. And you know what? I can say that's an uncomfortable truth and identity about us. Not to say it ain't true about other people, but I don't know any other races personally enough to say that. So this is not to say this is solely about us.
No, not at all.
But yeah, I'm just speaking about what I know about us. There's a laziness about us that we try to find the easy way, like, and we're more accepting of like the BS of like skin. Like, what bothers me of when I see people cheering on or promoting like stealing and scamming and stuff like that. I can't stand it. Like when people want to say, "Oh, take the label off the cucumber and put it on the TV and when scanning at self-service." Like you're gonna go to jail.
Yeah, that's
like that is not cool to me. I had put this on social media probably like a couple years ago. I don't know if I have any friends that act like that. I hope I don't. And I had said like, if I do, don't tell me because I'm not going to want to be your friend. And one of my girlfriends, Nanette, she was like, no, tell me because I want to know so that I can cut you off. Like, I don't want to be associated if that's the type stuff that you do. That I'm not cool with that. No. And again, that's other cultures might do it too. I don't know, but that's something about us that
I'm sure other cultures do it, but yeah, we're talking about us.
That's something about us that I don't like, that we are okay with the get by. We okay with the get over.
I mean, you can name 3 or 4, but to pick one, I would piggyback on yours. It would be the laziness, and it's funny that you say that because I had two laborers on my job, and they was black guys, and they ran out of things to do, and I had told one of them. I'm not gonna say no names because there's other black guys there. But I had told one of them, why don't you call whoever you got to call so you can go somewhere else. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting here. And the motherfucker looked at me and said, well, that's just what it's going to be. And it was just like, wow. Like, and I'm talking about dudes in their 40s. And it's just like, wow, like, you got opportunity here. Like I remember being in that position, and I would have done better than that. Like I don't know what your situation is, but that type of attitude and mindset and the lazy, and this was 7 o'clock in the morning. So you was gonna sit here all day long with nothing to do, and you just cool with that. What if like one of the bosses walk in? What if somebody else like walks in and sees that you just chilling and you ain't call nobody?
Right.
Like that kind of shit. I would piggyback on you and just say the laziness that we can portray sometimes is like it just burns me up.
Yeah.
Do you feel equipped and articulate enough to answer tough questions about your blackness and race?
I do. I do. I'm not gonna if I don't
no limits, history and everything.
If I don't know something, I'll just say I don't know. Google is a great tool to learn some information, but I wouldn't back down from a conversation. Like you mean like with another black person or with a white or with another race?
Let's say if it was a competent intellectual white person who wanted to just ask you tough questions about your race and some things that you may be offended by, would you be able to have an intellectual conversation without it going left or without you looking like you're conceding because you don't have all the information you need to argue?
I think I would be open to it.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't back down from it.
This ain't got nothing to do with heart. It just got something to do with like your brain. Like, do you think I don't want to look stupid, so I'm not like. It's not about like I'm gonna beat you, or it's not about heart. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can carry my own. We can have a conversation. I'm open to it. Now, if I feel that there's some information that I might not know, I'm not going to falsify or make it up or fake it. You know, but I would be open and willing to engage.
But you feel like whatever you can say, you can stand in and back it up.
Yeah, yeah.
I do too.
I would be willing to engage, and then at a certain point, it would be like. I like what's I guess for me, and this could be good or bad. What's the intent? Why are we doing this? Like, what are we trying to gain from this? Is this just rage bait? Are we trying to learn something? Because if it's just like, are you trying to learn something about black people?
You're trying to learn something.
But I'm just saying, I would need to know that before engaging. Because if it's just to exert energy,
no, it's not an argument. It's not no race hating shit. It's a person who actually wants to learn, but the questions are going to be tough.
Yeah, then I would be willing. If I felt that it was worth my energy, I would be willing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I would do the same thing. 1 gram this week. We fall down, but we get up. Donnie McClurkin. Has a sexual assault claim against him from at the time the guy was 21 years old and went to Donnie McClurkin because he was gay and he heard that Donnie McClurkin had prayed his own gay away. So he went to him for some advice on how to get ungay. And he groped them and touched them and stuff like that, and then later sent them an apology letter saying he was a dirty old man and he's sorry for touching them and groping them when he came to him for advice on what he thought he could do for himself is what he did for him. And Donnie McClurkin was asked directly, do you think you can pray the gay away? And he said, absolutely. If God wants to take it off you, he can. So, thoughts, and we can get out of here.
First of all, I don't like the way you keep saying his name. I think it's just McClurkin.
Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, but
it's not you thinking of somebody else, right?
No, Donnie McClurkin.
Okay, McClurkin.
Yeah.
My mouth a little dry. Let me get some water.
We got to stop holding these people to a standard as if they're not human, as if they're not flawed. I'm not surprised. The fact that he said he was gay and prayed it away. I mean, I hadn't heard him. I don't think he like has any new music. Like he kind of fell by the wayside. Like
got those slaps that he
fell out of the limelight, and I thought just been living his life. But I would think, based on what I hear other gay men say, that if his goal was to no longer live a homosexual lifestyle, but to live a heterosexual lifestyle, I would imagine that he's struggling because I don't think it works like that. Like I I don't think it works like that.
You don't think God can take that off you?
Again, I don't, from what I hear other gay men say, it ain't something that you can just turn off. So I think even if you marry a woman, live a heterosexual lifestyle, I think it's still a struggle that you will deal with. So if this young man came to him for some direction, for some guidance, I'm not surprised. I will say this, and this might sound bad. I hope it's true and not just somebody trying to defame your name. It's one thing for somebody to come out and tell on you and it's the truth. And then you just got to face your ugly truth. But it's another thing for somebody to come out and tell a lie about you, because people always going to believe what they hear. And you shouldn't necessarily care about what people, but it's going to follow you. It's going to follow you. So I would hope that it's true and he deals with that, then it not be true. Because it's a scary thing to think that you just always got to be on guard, because you never know when the next person will tell a lie on you, when the next person will make up a story, when the next person want to, say something foul about you. Now, but if they telling the truth and you stop doing the things, then you no longer give them a truth to tell.
I hear what you're saying, but when you type an email to somebody and say, hey, you came to me for the thing that I did for myself, and I'm sorry that I groped you, I'm a dirty old man, kind of says it's the truth.
We don't know that he typed the email to him.
Well, we don't know that he typed the email, but there's an email online that says that. So you don't know who
I'm just
typed
saying
it.
we don't know that it's all
legitimate.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm saying. I hope that it is, and that nobody's not going this far to falsify because I know somebody who back in the day used to make false documents. So
that's a whole nother story.
I'm just saying, and to this day, people are still making false documents. So the fact that there's an email doesn't prove anything. But he knows whether or not he sent it or not. Mm-hmm. He knows whether or not he did it or not. And if he did do it, then he just has to face his ugly truth. If he didn't do it, then I hope the gentleman gets what he deserved for making up this lie.
But we are on the same page. You can't pray the gay away. The conversion camps and all that kind of shit is whack stuff.
I think you can pray and ask God if you feel that you no longer want to live a homosexual lifestyle, if you don't want to be gay anymore, I think you can pray and ask God for discipline to help you stay on this track and not go to that track. You can ask God to pray the whore away, help me to no longer be a whore, or, help me to whatever things.
You almost say it like it's like quit smoking or some shit.
Well, I think again, you can add, but to pray it away, I think that little yearning is probably always going to be in the back of his mind. Doesn't mean he has to give into it. Right. Yeah, but I don't think it goes away.
That's a wrap. Act 2 the podcast, episode 258 coming to a close. We here. We glad y'all was here. We hope y'all enjoy. It's your boy International Walt with the beautiful.
Your girl Tash, the co-host with the most.
If y'all fuck with us, y'all fuck with us. If y'all don't, y'all should. Peace.